So, hiya, my name's Carmel and I am the branch chair of Greater Liverpool and Knowsley, and with us this evening is our fantastic president, Andrea. How are you, Andrea?
Hello, Carmel. I'm great, thank you. Surprisingly, like the mother of dragons with the silver hair, but apart from that, I'm great.
So this week is Congress Week, or it should be, and we should all be in the middle of Liverpool now and celebrating our fantastic nursing community. So we just wanted to try and bring people together and see if we can do something online. So that's what we are attempting to do this week. And my sister Helen, our comms manager, has been doing great work. So we just wanted a little chat. So what does Congress mean to you?
Oh, Congress, for me, lots of emotions around Congress. I suppose the first thing about Congress was the very first time I went. I'd been in the RCN for 15 years. I'd heard about this Congress thing, but I'd never been to it. And Steve Flanagan, who was the regional officer at the time, said to me, "You really must come." And I went in and I was blown away by it. I couldn't believe the amount of people and the enthusiasm. And I was sitting next to Shirley Flanagan, and I said to her, "I couldn't get up there and speak." And then somebody said something that I didn't like the sound of. I thought, "I'm not having that." And the next minute I was in a queue. And I think I never shut up after that. I just loved it. I think the thing for me, I mean, I was a ward sister then. And I think for me, what Congress did was it recharged my batteries. It reminded me that there are nurses who are amazing, that there are people who are change agents, there are nurses who have been around for centuries, who are just absolutely committed to nursing and nurses. And that was the first time for me for Congress. And then I went after that for many years as a steward. And eventually I was watching Bessie Kershaw as president, and I thought, I could do that. And for me, the members made that happen, and I absolutely loved being the president. I loved meeting the members. I loved spending time with them. I loved listening to what was going on at grassroots, right across the piece. And of course, it's really good fun. And last year, I got into lots of trouble at Congress because I went out with our branch to some place that had sticky floor, and I had somebody teaching me the Macarena, and I rang my husband the next day and said to him, "It's really busy," and he went, "Morning, dancing queen," because somebody had taken a GIF and had put it on the internet and he'd picked it up. So nothing is sacred. Great fun. Yeah, very hard work, but great fun.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that before, and I was saying it is a really tiring week because there's so much that's going on. But I feel like that as well, and I think I'd first gone and was quite overwhelmed, and then the next time I'd gone, I was right. I'm going to get involved with this and see what's going on. And by the end of the first couple of days, I think I'd been signed up to be a steward. So you get like a bug, and then that's what I'm really missing, going and finding that recharging and people to make you be enthused about your profession, and all those people who are so enthusiastic about so many different aspects of healthcare. And I work on an acute ward at the moment, and it's nice to hear from somebody who works in a care home or in the community, whatever they do, and that we all come together as a family. So we're kind of missing that. So I was going to ask you about being president. So how did that come about then? So you said you decided that's what I'm going to do. What was the next process then? How did you get from there to...
Well, I stood for council first, and I did that for a couple of years. And then it was in 2010, and I know that seems like 100 years ago now, but it was the beginning of the downturn in the economy. And I've been around long enough to know that meant trouble for nurses. It meant trouble for nurses in terms of pay and terms and conditions and opportunities. And I hope that people think that I have integrity and I am not afraid to speak. And I decided that I was going to stand because I thought it needed a tough cookie for a tough period. And I thought I could be that person for the members. And fortunately for me, they agreed with me and voted me in. Now, I was truly humbled by that, truly humbled, because it was nurses right across the country, not just my home pitch. And I hope I never left them down during the 4 years that I was president. It was a real privilege, and I loved every single minute.
So what made you just join the RCN, and in the beginning? What drew you to the RCN?
If I tell you the absolute honest to God truth, somebody said to me, you need to be in a union if you're a nurse. And I joined. And I joined and paid the subscription, but I really didn't engage with the RCN at all until I was a night sister at the Royal. I'd only been on nights 3 months. I was having a baby, so I decided that nights might be a better option for me because it was regular shifts then. And they decided to change all the shift patterns for the nurses, and the director of nursing did something really foolish, because she called me to the office and she said to me, it won't affect you. So the deal was that they were basically going to work an extra night for no extra money by taking an hour off each night, which meant that they had childcare an extra night, and they had to work they weren't going to get paid for the lunches, so the break. So really they were working an extra night for nothing. And that just didn't sit right with me. So it wasn't going to affect me personally, but like the pay awards now don't affect me personally, but by God am I angry about them. And I didn't play ball. So I called in an officer. I caused havoc. I stopped them changing those patterns for 2 years, which meant that all of the nurses that worked on those patterns, those shift patterns, had time to either rethink or move. And the really sad thing was that we lost about 60% of them to jobs that were better for them, but I lost really experienced nurses, which to me seems like a madness. You know, we didn't treat them right. But it was good fun, and that was my first sojourn into trade unionism, and then I got really good at it. And then 2 years later, I joined what was then the School of Nursing, and somebody in London decided that all schools of nursing were going to move into a university, and ours was the first to go. Yeah. And I was a trade unionist, and I negotiated that deal. So that was my baptism of fire into the politics of nursing. But I learned quickly, and I had good teachers.
Yeah, good. And I think so we certainly appreciate it in the branch, and I certainly appreciate that I've got good teachers at the moment. So so that's quite an expansive career then throughout the RCN. And is there anything that you would do differently?
No.
Good.
No, there isn't anything I'd do differently. I think that you learn as you go along. I think maybe I was politically naive in small politics in terms of organisational structure and role expectations. But no, I wouldn't change it. It was great fun. It was good to do.
So what is your favourite moment of Congress then?
Oh, that's really difficult. Gosh, there's been so many for different reasons. I mean, it's really hard to choose one. I think I wasn't president, wasn't on council the year that Congress turned Turk and stood up to the politicians and ousted Patricia Ewitts. And although it was a very scary moment for nurses who aren't normally so aggressive in their voice, I think it shook the government. They didn't come for 2 years, which was no great loss, to be honest, because they were coming with false promises. But it allowed nurses to hear themselves roar, and I think that it helped them understand how they can influence. So that was probably a standout moment in terms of the politics. The standout moment for me was probably, as president, was with Congress, was probably the last speech that I gave, because I don't normally cry, but it brought me to tears. It was emotional and it was strong, and it was appreciated.
Yeah, good. Okay, lovely. So I think that's everything I wanted to ask you. So we're trying to connect with people this week, and we're doing lots of things. We've got some coffee mornings every day, and then afternoon tea, so people can kind of come and meet us with that. And I think we've got an open mic night and a quiz night, so hopefully we'll see you at there. Okay.
Well, I'll be at most of them. I can't do I may be able to do the Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to wait and see. But I will try to get to most of them. And what I would say to anybody who's never been to Congress, it is extremely hard work, because you're up at the crack of dawn and you don't go to bed till very late, because there's so much discussion. But it is great fun as well. You make amazing friends. There's always somebody who knows what's going on in your unit. They've done it somewhere else before. It's never in one place. So it's a great place for exchange. And I think the other thing is that it's great for education. And last year, I mean, you managed to get a lot of stuff from our branch. The sepsis update was amazing, and the fringe on drugs. And I think that people should understand that there's also that opportunity for free CPD,
yeah.
And it's free to register. Yeah. So I'm really gutted we're not sitting down on the dock at this moment.
Yeah.
But next year it's in Liverpool again, and I hope that we have a blast. And this week too. It'll be good.
Yes.
It'll be good.
Well, thank you very much, and I will see you through the week.
Oh, you're welcome, Carmel, and you're doing a grand job. Keep it up, and keep up all the good work, all you guys out there. You're doing an amazing job too.
Thank you, lovely.